Today we are in the capital of Serbia, Belgrade, but you'll find out the reason we came here a little bit later. Belgrade is the largest city of the country with a population of over 1 million people. In fact, the border between the Balkan Peninsula and Central Europe goes right through Belgrade. A large economic, industrial and cultural center of Serbia is located on two rivers, Sava and Danube. In its rebellious past, Belgrade suffered from numerous wars. About 40 times it was built and grew. The ancient walls of the city saw Celts, Romans, Goths and Franks, Slavs and Turks. The city is actively developing, turning into one of the best places for investors in Europe. After the democratic reforms, the city attracted over 3.5 billion of foreign investments, mainly in the banking sector, in retail sales and telecommunication. Today, Belgrade is home for such international companies as Telenor, the bank's Banca Intesa, Morfin Bank, Societe Generale and Unicredit Bank. And the best confirmation of the business potential of the city was the award the City of Future in South Europe received in 2006 from the FDI magazine. Serbia is famous for its sportsmen. All sport fans know that the best tennis players can be found right here. That's why we are in Belgrade today. We'd like to introduce a new face of Instaforex broker, a 9th-ranked tennis player, Janka Tipsarevic. A talented tennis player, Janko Tipsarevic, is the winner of ATP tournaments in Kuala Lumpur and Stuttgart, the winner of the Kramen Cup and author of Team Tennis Championships Power Horse World Team Cup 2009 and 2012 and of the Davis Cup. In 2003 he entered the top 100 and today he is number 9 tennis player in the world. The star of men's tennis has victories over the greatest tennis players of all times, from Djokovic to Safin, Roddick to Nadal, Kafelnikov and Federer. Hello, Janka.
Hello.
First and foremost, I'd like to mention that for all Instaforex team, it's such an honor that a member of the regular elite top 10 in tennis is the face of our company.
Thank you very much. It's a big honor for me as well. In my past, I was mainly dealing with companies who are involved into tennis and sports in general. So for me, just to be picked by you guys, such a international and multinational company and a big conglomerate in terms of financial business, is a very fresh and interesting step for me. I'm very excited about it.
Janka, in 2001 you win the Australian Open Juniors, so you became the first-ranked racket, and after that the way to the adult ATP appeared very fierce for you. So how did you manage to pass this thorny way?
For me, it wasn't all flowers and roses after my junior career. I was the world number 1 under 18, winning the Australian Open. And at that time I was playing with only a handful of players, so I was adjusted and used to winning. But suddenly when you compete on the ATP tour, you don't play against boys anymore, you play against men. And you're losing, it's normal. Every, fresh start is difficult, so it wasn't going really uphill for me. This was a difficult time for me because I was struggling to break through to the ATP tour, but it took me for about 2 years to realize that it's okay to lose, but it's not okay not to give your best. So then when I realized that giving my best is the only way to achieve a certain level, that's the time when the victory started coming.
So Janka, what do you dream of? So let's start with your career, of course. Maybe you dream of breaking into the grade 4 or 5 of tennis players or something else.
Honestly, I don't dream enough. I would love that especially when I was a kid, that I was dreaming more about winning tournaments and winning Grand Slams, because in my opinion, that's a very, very important step in, first of all, any childhood, and second of all, in terms of achieving your goals when you become older. If you ask me right now, at the age of 28, what am I dreaming about? I would have to say that I dream that before I stop playing, I win a Grand Slam event. This would be a dream come true for me. Any Grand Slam would do.
Have you ever thought of an occupation except tennis? Maybe what will you do after your tennis career ends?
Tennis, well, by that time, we're talking about the time when I stop playing, hopefully rather later than sooner. Tennis is and will be at that point a big part of my life. So I don't see myself being completely excluded from that part of my life. But on the other hand, I don't see myself being committed to the sport 100%, let's say being a traveling coach or something like that. I feel that, I think that at that point, this chapter of my life would be finished, and I will probably take another project, which I don't know what is going to be in 5, 6, 7, 10 years. I don't know whenever I stop. But I have a feeling that tennis will be a part of my life one way or another.
You have a reputation of a tennis philosopher, as you are fond of many great thinkers like Dostoevsky, Nietzsche, Schopenhauer. So could you please tell me the phrase that most characterizes your current state of mind, maybe your motto?
If we talk about one phrase that I really, really like, and I think it's been following me at least most of my tennis career, and I don't mean to sound arrogant or anything, and I will explain why. I even have a tattoo of that on my back. It's a book that Arthur Schopenhauer wrote, and it's called About a Genius, where he explains that a genius can be, I'm not saying everybody, but almost everybody. He is saying that you need to have an idea, what do you want to do, and then unwillingly, because in his opinion the will controls the human spirit and the human well-being, if you put this idea over your will for a certain period of time without being aware that you're doing so, you're becoming a genius for a very short amount of time. So, and definitely it has to do a whole lot with the love towards this sport. So very often we have this idea and these dreams of becoming something bigger, something greater than we currently are, and not thinking about it, we put this idea over our will, what do we want to do. And I have a feeling that I think that this is a magical phrase, and it's been helping me ever since.
It often happens that a tennis match results unpredictably, so either it is a victory, so either a loss, which was unpredicted. So how do you manage to cope with this, with your emotions?
The beauty of this sport, and I guess one of the main reasons why tennis is so popular worldwide, is that it's really unpredictable. You generally don't know until the very last moment who is going to win the match. Of course, it happens when one guy is way better. You can see where the course of the match is going to finish. But when top players are playing, generally you don't know what is going to happen until the very last moment of the match. And I guess this is the beauty of the sport. I try to look at it.
Why does this happen?
I try to look at it as this phrase that the ball is round. So what goes around comes around. The problem is that we mainly remember in our minds the losses, the matches which were really, really hurting us. But then when you sit and you think about it, you will find, we're talking about a single season right now, you will find a lot of matches where you were supposed to lose, but you ended up winning. And you kind of stop thinking about that because you think it's normal. But the ones you had a chance to win and you lost, this is what really, really makes you suffer. In general, as I said, I'm thinking about it that the ball is round and what goes around eventually comes around.
What would you recommend to the young tennis players who are just starting their careers? Maybe something that you did not know and you would like to know before?
The biggest piece of advice that I could give them is that first of all, they need to be 110% sure that they want to live this kind of life. Because if you commit, you need to be ready that it's not easy, as nothing is in life. But in one way, it's a tough life because we live in hotels. We travel all around the world, like we call it like a traveling white circus, going around and entertaining people all over the planet. But on the other hand, it's nice because if you reach a certain level and if you're good enough, you're traveling to the most beautiful places where you would normally not have a chance to see if you were living a regular life. And the second piece of advice is that if they are ready to commit and if they decide that this is their calling, that this is the thing that they want to do until, well, the end of their careers, they need to make every day count. This is one of the most famous sentences I ever read. It's like a sports motivational quote from Muhammad Ali, who said, "Do not count the days, make the days count," which is so true. It actually elaborates and shows us how life and a tennis career is so short. And if you don't make your days count, you're not going to get where you want to be. So use every single day you have to improve yourself and improve your tennis game. This is the two pieces of advice that I can give.
To get more achievements.
Yes, because we all know how life is short, but you cannot imagine how short is a tennis career. I realized that, well, I realized it a long time ago, but this year I went to the Australian Open and I checked this board of winners who won the tournament in seniors and juniors, and I saw that I won the junior tournament 11 years ago, which is scary. It's really scary. You kind of think that you have all this time in the world, but you actually don't. You really don't.
Janko, thank you very much for your time. We wish you to become #1 ranked tennis player in your country and in the world, which is actually the same.
Thank you very much, Olga. I just want to say how grateful I am for that you guys, actually Instaforex, chose me to represent them all over the world. I am very much aware that Instaforex is the leading broker agency in Asia and aiming to become the #1 in the world. And all I can do is promise you that I will do my best, as you are, I'm sure, to become the #1 tennis player in the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Instaforex supports the aim of a sportsman to be the best and to constantly develop professional skills, and wishes Janko Kipsarevic eagle victories, hoping for a long-term and successful cooperation.